money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money.
I need to know if you'll give me a second chance. They don't come around often, but please, you know I can't stand it when you don't talk to me. When you don't talk to me, yeah. There's something inside, yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you, yeah. No, I can't hide it. No, I can't hide it anymore. I don't know why, but I can't seem to get you off my mind. And I know it's true, and I'll say this to you, I want you back. There's something inside, yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you, yeah. No, I can't hide it. No, I can't hide it anymore. Something inside, something inside. Oh, yeah. There's something inside, yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you, yeah. No, I can't hide it. No, I can't hide it anymore.
What's the reason behind the commotion? Why do we have to feel emotions? What's the purpose of all this madness? Why do we struggle so much to control them? Every day is a mess when sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in because of my emotions. I can't seem to control them. Every day is a mess when sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in my emotions. I can't seem to control them. My emotions, my emotions. Every day is a missing. Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in because of my emotions. I can't seem to control them. Every day is a missing. Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in my emotions. I can't seem to control them. My emotions. My emotions. My emotions, my emotions, my emotions, my emotions, my emotions.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome for the rookies in the circuit of the Americas, because we are overseas finally. And we are here with the Pro IM and the IM drivers. As you can see from the graphic, the blue ones are the Pro IM, while the red ones are the IM drivers. And I just have to, as always, I forget a single bit. As you can see also, there are two other columns. The first one is the gap to pole, while the second one is the delta to personal best. But that's for who is new. Circuit the drive-through, that's a skill issue. Honestly, yes. But anyway, possibly one of the best tracks around the calendar. Ah, okay. No, I don't remember anymore what it's called. Just go look at the replay. I will tell you later in case. But anyway, we are here with currently 30 drivers, mixed class, and as I was, that's a bit of the IndyCar route. This track is extremely used. I think next week is MotoGP that goes here, isn't it? I think it's MotoGP goes here. But today it's 4 wheels drivers. And even if motorsport this real afternoon, I don't know if many know the news, but the motorsport world tonight is going to be a bit more sad, considering that for whoever doesn't know, I have to announce that Craig Breen, the VRC driver, has been involved in a fatal incident. And that's why maybe I am a bit more down on RPM, because honestly I'm a bit of I'm not a fan of VRC, but more like very much an enjoyer of VRC. So honestly, it is a bit of a news for whoever is interested in the world of VRC. So possibly Codriver walked away without a scratch, while Craig didn't. And so I'm gonna be a bit more down on RPM, on energy. And I apologize for it, but I kind of felt it when I knew about it. So sorry for the little incipit about tonight's stream. I just think that it's right to say it, and because with this race, I really hope that nothing happens in terms of incident. First motor, if I remember correctly, I saw that it was like the first fatality after 2006 in the WRC world, even in pre-testing. So it's that's motorsport. That's the reminder that motorsport isn't the safest option when you want to choose a sport. But anyway, back to our race in the safeness of the Armco barriers. Panalo made the first time lap at 07.0, and it's going to be the first pole lap in the narrow streets, because that's it with the possible drive-through that may happen during the race. A bit of a slow laps by most of the grid. I'm seeing basically half the grid with the red timed laps, while just 3 made a single lap valid, well now 4. We just Panalo on a real time, considering the other are nearly 2 seconds off the pace. So possibly a bunker lap for them. For now at 07, I suspect at 05 may even be, never mind, because Panalo goes for a little spin there. And as I was saying, I suspect that 05 is possible in these very conditions. With, I don't remember, also because I couldn't see. Okay, 24 degrees, so it's perfect temperatures for the drivers. Considering that usually 25 degrees is the best possible window temperature for the tires and the drivers. Currently, a bit of a odd qualifying session. Remember that both classes are into the race. So 20 minutes of qualifying, 10 minutes each. More or less, it's going to be about 4 laps of qualifying. 5 if you are very, very lucky, but I doubt that we will see 5 laps. But nevertheless, for now, Kevin makes his personal best at 06.7, and just 8 drivers made a single lap time. As Chris said in chat, this track really doesn't forgive you for any exit, differently from IndyCar where the track limits are just an advice. Here the track limits are hugely enforced. Quite funny because in NASCAR there is also the track limits, but only in the S. Only in this very section of 3 turns there are track limits. And for the rest of the track, no. Which is very much a NASCAR moment, in my honest opinion. Instead here, every single minuscule cross line is effectively a time deletion, and the race most possibly a warning for exceeding track limits. You just have 3 for the whole race, and the 4th one gives you a drive-through for exceeding track limits. You saw Abu said, currently on screen. He is on screen because he is the current pole leader, pole sitter. But in front of him there is the Italian job car of Giorgio Burgio, which is possibly making himself a bit of a wall on Abu Said's side. Probably some liveries aren't, because I saw a black Porsche. But it may be because very likely the livery wasn't correctly set. But we are here with the 80s Apple Honda of Mario Mariano. Very nice livery there. Also, I'm very interested about Panalo time. I've just got just to say it out loud, I just got an update of SCTV. So if I put wrong cameras, it's completely normal, because all the cameras are shuffled now, which is something I'm very happy about. So I have to remember back again which cameras were And for now, Panalo went in second place. And okay, this one is still this one. Panalo went in second place, but apparently he lost 2 times on the very first 200 meters because he was already 2 times quicker in even before approaching turn 1. So I suspect a very slow exit by the French driver that now is kind of chasing the pole lap that will not improve because it may improve because Abu Said still has a lap to go. So a red timed lap, but effectively the red timed lap was still to be completed. While many drivers have their qualifying session being over, basically half the drivers are already into the pits, while few drivers are still on track, even if for now just Gedman has a nullified time. I wonder about the many others. There is also the Bortoli with a nullified time now. McCutcheon, the 778 Aston Martin, McCutcheon. Possibly I said it absolutely in the worst possible manner, but this qualifying is also over. Same goes for Malatowski. No, Malatowski is a Pro-Am driver, apologies. So he still has to even join on track. I wanted to say no one, because apparently Gedman is still on track. We are here with Panalo, because Panalo is possible that he may go for the pole, even if he doesn't have currently the first and the second sector in the purple zone. He just has the first and second sector, but not the third. And it may now be the complete opposite, because you can see he is nearly 3 times quicker, and he goes in pole, 0.6.4 for the French driver, that makes a pole position time. But there is also said that it's possible that he may make the final stretch into the highest position in very wide hairpin there. And in fact, the Italian driver will not improve his time unless he managed to have 3 times in a single turn, which is quite impossible. He nearly gets 50 milliseconds. So pole sitter is the Frenchman in the 22 car that still is running. Possibly he wants to practice the pit entry because he is going very slowly and 8 seconds off the pace. So I really suspect that he is going to keep it on track to get the pit entry practice. And for now I don't know which one of the Pro-Am will make a time, so I will just stick with him because I don't want to jump to someone else, which is Woodward. Woodward is going to be the first one to make a lap time into the Pro-Am drivers. Maybe I have to just lower down the volume a bit because it's a bit loud, because I raised it. So I should lower it down. Now it should be okay back. Maybe should be okay like this. So the hazards here, possibly the most dangerous part for the drivers in terms of track limits. And then this section here has to be extremely precise, because you can lose or gain several times. Apparently Woodward went off track, so already lap time being invalidated. We go then with Thompson, the next one online, to make a lap, maybe, because after Woodward there is no one. There is a car, I can clearly see it, but it's not Woodward. So anyway, we go with Ian Thompson into the main straight, to then go into turn 12. 20 corners in this very track. A first sector extremely technical. A second sector very much into the low downforce setups, while the first sector is extremely important for any car that utilizes a high downforce setup. So very much it's a game of compromising and adjust yourself to the correct into the best compromise, because you can't really follow a single path into the horseshoe, the complex from 14 to essentially 18, with 19 coming by here. Bit wider for Thompson, not on the apex completely. And then turn 20, which is the final one. There are no corner names, so this makes my job easier. No corner names, just numbers for the American track. And Ian Thompson was the first time in lap, and then Sauter makes the second with Robstra in 12th place, German in 4th. Best second sector for the Swedish driver in the KFC Audi. Many drivers still have to make a single lap because it was not a valid lap for few of them. Budvar, Karasanovic, Madalskowski, Maggioli, Jabudal not even on track. I suspect a quali ban for him because he's not even joining the qualifying session. Possibly for an incident in the last round made last week in Holton Park. While here is this one here is a real racetrack, because Holton Park is not a real racetrack, and you can say otherwise. Luca Borsari is now in 5th place, directly behind Ilke Zerman, bit sideways into the hairpin, into turn 11, and then the huge straight that comes around here. Speed that reaches the holy speed of 257 kilometers per hour. This is from the Audi driver, even if I suspect it was a kilometers per hour too much, considering he went a bit wide into turn 12. And then into the technical section here, this route here gives you plenty of lines to play with, because you can go with Ilke Zerman going with a more narrower line, or you can go with a Robstra's line that was a bit more wider and more closer to the apex at the very end, giving you more speed into the exit. And it may be useful into a chase. At the moment, I think it's more important to have the best possible speed. So possibly Zerman's line was the best, but even it also depends a lot about the setup, because if you have a soft rear, you possibly want a more wide line, while if you have a more stretched setup in terms of stiffness, you may want a more narrower line. Rockstar went in 4th. There is a Lexus going into the countryside there, into the distance. It was Sauter in the number 2. And for now, apparently I'm not into the correct schedule. Okay, where I am. Luca Borsari is now in 4th place. Still, the pole sitter is still an IM driver. Not even a pole sitter, but the first row is red, while the second row is just half blue, with Kevin into 3rd place. So for now, it seems like the Pro IM are quite struggling with the traction and the sheer speed for some reason or another. Just 4 drivers into the 060s. The Audi is indeed OP here. It's possibly the best car around the track. It is the Audi. Second, I think it's the Aston and the Ferrari. More or less they have the same pace. The Porsche really struggles into the straight, but it's also one of the few of the 4 cars that really competes here hugely. With the Honda not really performing so well, it's possibly one of the few tracks where the Honda is whack, because in the technical section it just understeers, and it's not entirely a good option there. Mostly because of the effective, the inner soul of the Honda being absolutely understeery. Malatkowski, while I'm speaking, without a single lap, he makes from 0 to hero, and in pole position by 5 milliseconds, literally nothing between him and Panaloo in 2nd place. I suspect that this very lap is already thrown into the bushes because of a mistake into turn 1, oppositely to Zerman that makes pole position by 3 times of a second into 06.1, very close to the 05 I was so much praising about. Here the pro times that we will see tomorrow, with a Ferrari there sparking into the apex, are possibly low 5 to even 4s if everything goes smoothly. And for now we will see possibly even a 0-5, because both Zerman and Valskowski are really putting a show. Borsari concludes his qualifying session in just 6th place. Free position between him and Valskowski, his next opponent in class. Robustra 2 concludes his qualifying session. This leaves Karasanovic in the Honda with a very loose car, in a very hot spot, in just 8th place for the Honda driver. So at this point the current battle is effectively between the Audi and the BMW number 15 in the yellow and black colors. A bit of a slow exit there. In fact, he lost a 10.5 into the horseshoe, just under the tower, and apparently he's nowhere into the... Where is he going? he went into the back rooms. So we will stay with Zerman. I wasn't expecting the BMW disappearing from our realm and entering another dimension. Smith also concludes his qualifying session. Krasanovic will not set an effective lap because he is a second and a half off himself. Hungary Sauter 2. Siabuk will not set another lap because he went off track. Majoli is 3 times off, and obviously Zerman concludes his qualifying because it is useless to even complete the lap because he is pole position. By 3 tenths of a second, Woodward, Mihai, McCurtain and Jabudal haven't even set a single lap time into the qualifying session, while Majoli will cross the line offset by himself. And this is your qualifying standings. There are... never mind. I should stop even trying. I'm trying every single time, but apparently I just can't. With the fact that I have updated the ACCTV app, I can do this. Wait, aha. No. Failed the camera totally. Ta-da! New cam. So we have Ilka Zerman in the 60. The Audi pole sitter, and I think he is your current championship leader. I should check because every time I check it, but obviously I forget because I am just on another level. And last time winner into Alton Park by a few seconds, by a few tens of seconds. Ilka Zerman with 2 second places and 1 first place is your leader with 119 points. 111.5. Whose idea was to make a 0.5 interesting for Karasanovic, while Julian Smith is in 3rd place in Pro. But speaking of Pro, Malaskowski is in 2nd place in the 15 BMW. Then we have the first of the IM drivers, and also in 3rd place it is Jonathan Palero, leader of the championship, in 1st place with 112 points, with Derek Kevin in 2nd with 108.5. Abu Said is in 4th in grid in the 19 Porsche. Then we have Kevin in the 62 Porsche without a livery. Luca Borsari in the 277 is a 3rd of the Pro, but just in 6th place, just in front of the Ferrari of Robbie Robstra in the 85, number 85. Then Karasanovic in the 66, Burgio in 9th place in the 747, and then your top 10 concludes with Julian Smith in the 990 Aston Martin. Then we have Simone Sberla in the 971 Audi, Siabuk, Hungary, Sauter, and Majoli there in the number 9. We then the train of AM cars that starts with Mariano in 16th place, and nice bit in 17th, Craig Hill in 18th, Noel Brown in 19th, Messina in 20th, then Thompson Pro IM driver in 21st, Brown in 22nd, Turner in 23rd, De Bortoli, then Watt, German, and then the 4 drivers that didn't even set a single lap time. It's Woodward, and then Mihai, Matt Kirkon, the British driver in 778, pretty colorful livery, and then Jabudal that concludes your whole train of cars with Berla that already has a... Oh, there are 2 drivers that didn't put themselves on track. It is Robbie Robstra and Simones Berla. Both drivers didn't put their setup on track in time. So we start from the pit lane. After 3 minutes of heating lap. It is to be noticed that there are 30 minutes of racing, and I have to check. It's 8 PM, 21 degrees, so effectively a bit of a different situation compared to the qualifying session that was way hotter. I remember that obviously it is a 30 minutes round, this one, but it's double because with the 30-minute round, there are 2 races in the single evening. And there is no pit stop scheduled. So it's 30 minutes straight, basically very much like an LFM. And 30 minutes straight, no pit. If you take damage, it's over. Pretty much. But you have a second chance. Second chance is... the Honda there is struggling. What is happening here? Oh, there is a problem there? There is a huge problem. Oh, I think he shut off the car and didn't react on time because the power steering wasn't on. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Pretty odd situation there for Krasanovic in the 66. As he already went into the barrier without even starting. I suspect for igniting off the car because he wasn't even steering anymore. But Krasanovic is already with damage on his car, speaking of damage. But when we are going into the starting grid, it is to be said that this series has a prize. The Pro Am winner receives an Acelith Simracing 80 euros gift code that he can utilize for every single purchase into the Acelith Simracing store. And for whoever is watching, you can also have a 3% discount into the FRL Discord by a referral that you can find into the Discord. It's quite obvious. But obviously check it out. Same Discord where you can find this very races hub. You can find all information for tomorrow's race with the Pro and the Silvers. And you can also find the information for the 24-hour voting selling, of which I think the places are over. But never say never. Obviously, this is all into the Discord, and for every information, just ask an admin or ask anyone else. But for now, we're going into the first of the 2 races of tonight, with me forgetting that this has to change. Please be... I have to be quick, I have to be quick, I have to be quick. Ah! Okay, I made it. This was my brain going into flames. But we go with Double Side in 4th place as always. A bit of a transition there. With Double Side in 4th place from the Helicam. I can't really see anything from here, but anyway, we stay here as we wait for the green lights. A green light, and away we go with a bit of a good start by anyone, apart from Banalo with a bit of a slow start there. I don't know why the Helicam is so close to the field, but you can see there it's already Zeman in 2nd place because the BMW was a bit more wide on exit, but obviously that has to go off the throttle because he has to give back the position. Abuset is now in 3rd place with Paralo in 4th. Karasanovic goes in 5th place, overtaking Kevin in the 62 car with Borsari and then Burjo following just behind. There is a crash behind this Gateman with yellow flags there, but we will stick to the front of the field because for now the situation is still here going on. The train of cars is not having much trouble. Currently just a car that made a yellow flag appearance, which was Gedman now in 20th place, but it is still Karasanovic trying maybe the inside into the hairpin. It doesn't happen. Bit of a contact maybe with Aston, but it was maybe a bit of a lag spike by the Aston Martin driver that currently sits in 4th place, but now it will be interesting to see the situation from the wing of Zerman's car. No overtake happens here. Can say the same for Abuset, that for now keeps the position. Oh, never mind what I said earlier on, because it seems like the BMW wants to approach an overtake there on the Audi driver. Well, wanted to approach an overtake, it doesn't happen. Something that happens is Majoli making a position, same with Nicebit, that goes over Mariano. Oh, Mariano is off! Same goes for Noel Brown, that collides with said Honda. It was already on live. I'm seeing an Aston Martin there into the distance. Also, not really into the correct racing line, but you can see here is the Audi on the inside, defending into the BMW, sticking into the outside. It will be quite the move there, into the outside of turn 21. Very clean racing by these two drivers, but the Audi stays on top, while Karasanovic overtakes the Aston, and same goes for Kevin, because both drivers are overtaking. Okay, this camera is useless here. Both drivers are overtaking the Aston Martin driver with a terrible exit. German is still on pole. Malaskowski is second in the yellow BMW. Abuset has a bit of free hair because Karasanovic made an overtake on Panalu. Same goes for Kevin, that has to defend for 5th place against Panalu. Into the splitter cam for us. Into the S's. Aston a bit more cautious into the S. I wonder if it is for an already having a track limit violation, but Kevin is into the outside, which become the inside of the Honda driver. No driver collides with the other. A very clean overtake there for Kevin. Very brave also, because there is no space for two cars unless you make it. And the Honda driver is now in 5th place with Panalu. Maybe thinking about the same move on the same Honda driver. It doesn't go into the slipstream. I'm not entirely sure why at this point. He stays on the racing line, and not really sure the reason for such thinking. But Karasanovic utilized the fact that there is no Aston to the right for trying the overtake. That doesn't happen. The Aston Martin brakes a bit later, tries the move into the Honda in a bit of a very late moment. But 66 stays on the inside, and Panalu maybe loses the position he was sitting in. In fact, there is contact between him and the Aston, and also there is the Porsche overtaking him. Speaking of Porsche, there is Karasanovic trying the outside on Kevin, but for now Kevin stays on the inside of the horseshoe. Panalu says to give off the position, and Burjo goes behind Panalu back again, with Borsari now in 6th place, just behind his opponent. Karasanovic in 5th place. There is also Siabuk trying the move on Smith, not even trying, but making a move on Smith into the Aston Martin. But there is also Karasanovic, I want to say here, because Kevin has to defend from outside. A bit of a difficult task to ask for. Oh, Karasanovic went into the barrier! Didn't brake on time even! He went straight on into the barrier! And I want to see it back, what happened here. He completely misses the braking point. Here has to brake. He doesn't. He goes straight. He obviously can't brake on time. He goes full speed into the wall. So it's 10th place for the Croatian driver. Slovenian driver, sorry. With massive front end damage. So ultimately, I really think that his race is possibly over. At least for this very first race. In fact, now there is overtake by the Aston Martin driver and the Lexus driver, with no possible defense for the Honda driver, considering there is no speed anymore on this car. But for now we'll stay back on front, because Maskowski lost a second on Zerman, and Abused is now into the slipstream. Now, the Porsche has a very peculiar, it's always always the same tail, quite a difficulty into the speed, which makes the Porsche astonishingly fast in qualifying, but not so much into the race. And with the update that is coming around the corner, Krasanovic is back into the grass, and so it's a DNF altogether for Krasanovic. I don't know where I am. Okay. With the Porsche, the new Porsche, and then 2 coming the next Wednesday. Many drivers went for the Porsche, possibly thinking about the switch more than sticking with the current gen of the Porsche. I'll be honest, I hate the Porsche, so I will probably not be one of the 992 fan club enjoyers. But maybe it is the opposite for Abused. It is closely following the BMW number 15. BMW that is a bit of a odd compromise, because I see a lot of drivers struggling to achieve any sort of speed compared to other cars, while some other drivers are just destroying the field with the said cars. There isn't no in between. The BMW seems like the BMW is one of those cars that you go fast if you really are synced with the car. With Abused that lost the rear end on his Porsche number 19. For now he stays on the lead of the AM driver, with Panalori that now has to first overtake Borsari and then overtake Kevin, because Borsari is not even in his class, so it wouldn't mean anything making overtake on the Italian driver, currently sitting in 5th place. And passing across was the record Kevin in 4th place overall. A bit of a more calmer race, this one here. There is Thompson now trying to overtake on the Bortoli, and then there is Jobdal that is making his way from 30th on the grid to it will be 17th for now if he managed to make the overtake. There is Thompson pretty much going full send into the corner, and basically making a sort of a dive bomb that concludes his overtake efficiently, even for Jawudal's side, because he also overtakes the Bortoli, probably thinking that it's not his race. Well, there is a car into the middle of the track. There is Hill that is being hit by, I think it was a car there. It was definitely a car, obviously. But I want to see back what happened here between the 999 and the 888. It was the 17, by the way. It was the Bortoli. There was Woodward into the inside, and then both cars went for a spin. You can see the very second the 2 cars collided. Abused is now trying to overtake into turn 1. He has the outside, so it's a bit of a difficult task for the push driver, while Tsiavuk is doing the same from the outside into turn 2. But he has a couple of meters more of advance on Smith's car, and this puts the Aston Martin in front of the other Aston Martin. So now the 951 Tsiavuk is in 7th place, while Panelo is extremely close to the other Aston. Seems like a battle of Aston for now into the mid-pack, as a few drivers are switching positions. There is a bit of a space. You can see from the mini-map on the right of your screen. There is the Porsche trying the overtake on Smith, that he was trying to overtake on Tsiavuk, that is trying to stay in 7th place. As I was saying, there are 7 seconds. Okay, this was correct. There are 7 seconds between Panelo and Tsiavuk, basically making a train from 7th to 11th, I would say, because it's not that far away. You can see there is the Italian job car. Oh, there is definitely a wide there. Tsiavuk misses completely the breakpoint. ABS doesn't even has the strength to stop the car on time, because he locked the tires And now Siabuk lost one position, maybe two. There is Tanner with yellow flags, but he will stay with this overtake going on because the Porsche makes it into 8th place. It's not for class position, but it's a very nice, I can't speak anymore. A very nice overall position. There is also Siabuk with another mistake ongoing. He goes wide into the horseshoe and gives Hungary the space to make the overtake for 9th place. Oh, never mind what say Hungary, very greedy on the inside of turn 19. Or 20. It was 19. Yeah, I can still count. And giving back the position to Siabuk. And now there is also the Lexus behind him of Chris Sauter in number 2 Lexus. That was possibly thinking about an overtake that may happen because Hungary went pretty much wide. Oh, the Lexus went even more wide over the curbs. So he has to stay behind with a nice bit. Maybe thinking about making a move, but I don't think it will happen anytime soon. Even if you can see that Lamborghini is getting closer and closer. Same goes for Panalo, extremely close to Borsari. That is basically making himself... he is trying the best he can to get a position done. Possibly he's waiting to make the position because there is a straight going. So he will possibly stay behind Borsari, take all the slipstream available to then make the lunge into the hairpin into turn 12, which doesn't happen. Oh, Abused made the move. I wasn't looking at it. I wasn't even expecting a move by Abused. They made the move into the hairpin. And now he is in 2nd place overall. Very nice performance by the Italian driver. Then makes the overtake. I want to see if I can look it back. And the answer is yes. I wonder if it was a lunge into the inside by the Porsche driver, taking by surprise the BMW of Malaskowski, and effectively that's the best strength of the Porsche. You can dive bomb people in complete safe. Thus giving Abused the 2nd place, now chasing the lead of the race, even if the number 6 is already 3.5 seconds away. Remember, no pit, so whichever pace you have is not dictated by any strategy or any change or any mistake in the pits, but just by your sheer speed. Timothy Jobudal currently going into the inside. It doesn't happen because Majoli stays in front. Also Kevin is... Oh, there is a contact there! It's a bit... Malaskowski off! Malaskowski off track, loses a couple of positions. I want to see if it was for the Porsche making contact. Extremely close. It was indeed the Porsche colliding with the Ukrainian driver. And the 15 is now in 6th place, even behind Borsari, still in the podium, but a position below. This gives Panalo still... Oh, Majoli is off now. Majoli off. And I'm not entirely sure why. And the reason is, I want to see if it was because of... I went wide. There was a bit of a contact, there was more than a bit of a contact there. With the McLaren of Jabudal in 13th place. And there is Borsari with yellow flags too. Contact between, I think, Panalo and Borsari. It was indeed some contact between the two drivers that we can see from the helicam with the Porsche in front. Oh, it was the IM driver trying the overtake on the Italian that closed the door at the very last moment. So possibly some front end damage for the IM driver, some rear end damage for the Italian. With a very wide entry, now the Aston Martin on the inside he goes. Contact between the drivers, possibly the Italian doesn't want to stay behind the other Aston. It's a drag race for position, but Panalo has a couple of meters more, you can see from the wing cam. that the Aston Martin is flashing the lights, asking for the position back. It doesn't happen. There's the BMW maybe trying the overtake on the Pro driver, and in fact it happens. Malaskowski utilizes the fact that the Aston was a bit slow on exit to make a position, and now Malaskowski is back in second place, which effectively doesn't change the situation. He was in prior to the incident between him and the number 62, driven by Kevin. It's just the overall position that changes, but the Pro IM position doesn't, while the Bartoli is definitely not facing the correct way. Multiple cars going off and right and left. We'll see the contact after. We see maybe free wide into the S. It's not possible by any mean. And there is Majoli in front of this little train. Little is a bit of an understatement, considering it's going from 16th to 22nd place. There is an Audi going for an Audi move, being overtaken by an Aston. It is Messina on the outside. There is also an Honda joining the fight. So Messina makes it from the outside on the Audi of Turner. But there is also Mariano, maybe trying the position. He does. He goes for 2 in a single shot. He doesn't go for 2 in a single shot. He doesn't overtake the Audi yet. But Mariano was really trying the best possible to make a position there. Which was a bit of a challenge to achieve. And now he goes for the move. The Audi leaves a lot of space. There is an Aston missing completely the braking point. Contact between the Ferrari and the Audi driver. The Audi very much brakes very early compared to the Honda. Now gives back the position. And the Ferrari goes onto the inside. With the Audi on the outside, completely off. It's a free wide into turn number 15. I was saying 17. And the McLaren has to stay behind that. It was a lot of positions, and there is already the first drive-through. You can see Tsiabuk is into the pits for exceeding track limits, and there is a car into the wall. It was Turner in 25th place into the wall. You can see the reason here. He just lost the car on himself. The rear snaps off, and he also collides into the barrier. And now Tsiabuk is in 24th place, all the way down the grid. In 24th place for the drive-through for exceeding track limits, just after not even 20 minutes. So it was definitely a very nice fight into the backyard of the field, with Brown also with yellow flags. Possibly losing it onto the S. We can see what happened. So he goes left, he goes right, he brakes a bit too much there. In fact, the rear doesn't approve the fact that he was on the brakes and nearly sends him into the barrier. But Jabudar is very close to the Lamborghini in front of him. You can see if he goes for the overtake, to then see if there is... Oh, Malaskowski with yellow flags! He doesn't lose the position yet. But nevertheless, I wanted to see... can't find it. The 17 car. There's been more or less 200 overtakes, so I possibly missed it. Because it wasn't Mihai, it was an Aston Martin. I think it was... Oh, a bit the rear losing there on the McLaren driver. But we are back here because Hill is still trying the position on that for 20th place. Yes. That's the sheer true. That's a skill issue. The McLaren goes on the inside into turn 20. He goes for the move into turn 20, and for now he keeps the position. There is a car without lights. You can see the meatball flag, and if he hasn't binded the lights, it's a huge problem because he has to do it. Otherwise, he will be disqualified in 2 laps for. Okay, no, he found it. He found the button for the lights, and it was the Bortoli in the 18. I'm making a spin earlier. Okay, so we can see. Speaking of the Bortoli, what happened earlier on into turn 1? It was a few laps back. He goes pretty wide, and Mihai absolutely makes him spin without even waiting for an answer by the Italian driver. The Brown is also still into the wall, but you can see back here because it is Robbie Robstra in 18th place, trying the overtake on Messina in 17th. We will go into Messina's wing. Maurizio Messina currently in 17th place. And in IM class, he is currently in 6th place. He will not fight for a position with Robstra, but he will fight for an overall position that still is important. Not in terms of the table, but in terms of the simple goal achieved by a driver. He is a bit of a sandwich there because there is Maggioli and Robstra in front and behind. So possibly Robstra wants to overtake the Italian as soon as possible, but there is also the Italian that wants to overtake the Audi in front of him as soon as possible. Obviously, different classes doesn't mean that you can't fight with them. You can, obviously. Just that oh, there is another drive-through for exceeding track limits. It's a 999 going into the pits. He was in 14th place and overtake by Messina and makes it into turn 20. Into the inside he went. Overtakes the Audi number 9. And now Robstra has the position to make an overtake in class. And number 85 is still behind the Audi. You can see from the wing. But you can also see from the splitter that the 2 cars are extremely close. We may see an overtake. One way or another, there is Aston pretty wide there on entry. Actually, a bit of a struggle in the second half of the chicane, while Robstra still maintaining the proximity to the car in front. While there is Naismith possibly made a mistake or let Jovidal pass by because he lost us a whole second in the matter of 20 meters. So now we'll stay with this fight effectively that is going on. Possibly Naismith understanding that it's no, Robstra goes for the move into the inside of hairpin. Bit of a over-exaggerated move there, and in fact he stays behind Maggioli. The number 9 has the slipstream, so Robstra has to trust his brakes into turn 12. Oh, there is something happening here. It's the braking spot that went terribly wrong for the Italian driver. And now Robstra is trying the outside contact. More contact. Thrice. I think I can do it. Thrice. Door-to-door action between Maggioli and Robstra. There is Maggioli that doesn't want to give the position by any means. There is also the Bartoli and Hill still with a fight. Hill basically taking the inside to another level. But even too much because he goes over the curb, loses the position, loses the space, and loses the proximity he had. Jabudal overtakes Cota there. And there is also Robstra going for the move. So double overtake ongoing between the drivers. And we can see back both overtakes, I think, because there is a first Jabudal going into the inside into turn 20, and then there is Robstra going for the move just after the horseshoe. On the inside he goes and makes it for 16th place. And obviously I missed both, so very high skill by my side. There were 2 fights going on. Anyway, this is a tale as old as time, because a replay is a bit of a curse with me. Every time I make a replay, apparently there has to happen something. And now Jawdal, remember, he was starting 20 position behind. He is now in 10th place. Jabuda is just making an astonishing job. It's possibly the best driver in the field at the moment, because he's just destroying every possible prevision was made by starting last, not achieving much damage. The Lexus goes a bit wide and gives the Lamborghini the chance to make a position into 11th place. With Chris Sauter that stays behind. With a terrible lap for Sauter. First the overtake and then another wide exit. And he lost 2 seconds and a half. Nearly 3 seconds from Jabuda in a single lap. So, still the best of the lap. Jabuda, speaking of which, never mind what I said until now. He gets the drive-through for exceeding track limits. After a marvelous drive, he gets the drive-through for exceeding track limits, so he goes back possibly 10 positions, so everything I said until now is gone into little tiny pieces, and this gives the third, if I counted correctly, driver with the drive-through. It was indeed the 5th, 6th, it was indeed 1, 2, 3. Okay, it was the third. Because there was Robstra with a pit that was being shown, just because he effectively started from the pit lane. And speaking of Robstra, he is now trying to overtake on Messina that went quite wide on the SS. He's also brown with the drive-through for exceeding track limits, but he is in 20th place for now. So now Robstra, remember that he is possibly trying to overtake on Messina because there is Mihai just in front with a penalty pending for the contact into turn 1. But now there is 1.4 seconds with Robstra that made the overtake on Messina that he's not giving up the position. Battle for 14th place into turn 12, side by side. No door to door yet, even if I think the Ferrari's doors are pretty much destroyed at this point. There is Tiabuk with yellow flags. Something happened there. He's into the wall. Which I wonder why. Did he miss the braking point? He was behind the Morton. He completely misses the braking point. He goes basically straight and misses the Aston Martin by, I don't even know how much millimeters there were. It was incredibly close. Tell me it is the same here. You can see from the helicam at the very last moment. That was absolutely close. To see from the splitter, this is reaction time. Even if the mistake happened, it was a phenomenal reaction time from the Aston driver that misses the Aston by what I think it was 20 millimeters at best. Astonishing. Possibly I think the Bortoli has had an heart attack and he is probably dead. So he is just, he's not driving anymore. It is his bot. But that was close. Possibly it will be the closest moment in the whole series, hands down, 100%. Robert is still on the chase of Mihai in 13th place. But it's possible that now the white flag goes, so Zervan crosses the line, starting the last lap of the first of the 2 races. So white flag, sponsored by Acelith Design. With number 60, we'll go with a ride with him in the very last moments of the race. Ilka Zerman in the 60 Audi. Siabuk possibly with square tires loses the position of Sberla, but at this point it's not in class. It goes in 22nd. This part here is extremely technical into turn 9, then 10. That gives you the chance to see turn 11. This one that goes here. There is also a possible initial possibility of overtake in the backyard in Zerman's backyard, because there is Zabusser, Kevin, and Panalu joining a fight a bit too late, considering this is the last lap. We will ride with Zerman until the end, unless an overtake happens behind the scenes. Possibly Zerman having a bit of a slow lap here, considering he just has to deliver the position, which will be the second win in his season, and a back-to-back even. And who knows, maybe he goes for 3 in a row. It will be quite an achievement for the Swedish driver that had 2 initial rounds and a bit of difficulty. But Ilka Zerman goes after turn 20 a bit wider, and overtakes happens behind with Zerman going for the lead. There is Panalu on the inside, he goes, and Kevin loses the position at the very last moment in 4th place at the very final seconds of the race. Want to see back what happened here. So there was a bit of a wide moment. Oh, he lost the rear. He lost completely the rear at the very last moment. You can see the Audi coming across. And then just missing the braking point. But then there is Malaskowski in 5th, Borsai in 6th, Smith in 7th, Burjo in 8th, Ongar in 9th. Nicebit in 10th place. With Sauter, number 2 in the distance, is the purple. Okay, this camera is not really helping. We can use this. Thomas in 12th place. Mihai in 13th, just half a second in front of Obstra. In 14th place, then Messina in 15th, Mariano in 16th in the Honda 13. And then there is Maggioli in the green and lime Audi. With Jaudal in 18th, De Bortoli in 19th, Hill in 20th, McCurkon in 21st, with Vat in 22nd, and Siabuk in 23rd, with Sberla that still has to cross the line. And then there is Woodward still in the technical sector. "25 seconds behind Sberla, with Gedman that follows behind in the 79 car. And there is Turner, Noel Brown and Karasanovic. 3 of them being lapped, with Karasanovic DNFing from the race altogether. But this was race number 1 of the 2 that have to come. Bit of a contact between the 2 drivers there. Zerman in the number 60, effectively winning the race, with Abusser in 2nd, and Panalu just obtaining the 3rd place at the very final moment, which is also the 2nd place in class in front of Kevin. Then there is Malaskowski in the 15 BMW in 2nd place, with Borsari behind. Then there is Smith, Burjo, Hungary, and then Nesbitt in 10th place. And this concludes your top 10. Now we will wait for the second race that is possibly going to happen in the very next moments. And this was definitely a very interesting race, to say the least. Not too many crashes, luckily. Some contacts, obviously, that always those always happen. I want to stay here though. Look at Zerman's ride. Now there is also the second race with the same qualifying results as someone with the lobby, which was can't find him. Someone wasn't. No, he's not in the lobby anymore. I'm trying to find who, because someone quitted, and I can't find it. But anyway, remember obviously to also now that it's a bit of a break, to check with your phone the QR code on the right of your screen. That's the Sim Stuff QR code that gives you an opportunity to get in touch with the latest career opportunities in the sim racing world, where you can hear from experts and pros of this whole sim racing field, and this also gives you a possibility to join as literally as your main job into the sim racing career. So be sure to check it out if you are interested about it, whether it's for making a community or to become someone of importance in your favorite sim racing events or leagues or championships or in the sim racing world altogether. And obviously thanks to all our sponsors that you can see in the lower part of the screen, all of them that provide in a way or another helpful and extraordinarily useful help. Especially you can see the logo there. It's me. Hi. it's literally me. Just next to James with the worst number because the 41 is worse than 40. I'm trying to gain to gain time, but this race 1 to race 2 is taking very much compared to the always. No, this is on PC as every single league. You can find it on our Discord. There is the Tuesday British GT. There is days on Thursday. There is the Friday Pulsing Gear, and then there is the Endurance coming across next week into the 24-hour of Watkins Glen, which I will be driving into an Audi. Same Audi is now in pole. And what am I looking at? What I'm searching for mostly is this little button. So we will wait the usual 3 minutes of time. Obviously the grid is the same as earlier, with Zerman in first, Malaskowski in second, Panalo in third, Nabused, Kevin, Borsari, Robstra, Karasanovic, Burjo, Smith, your top 10, with then Sbedla, Tsiabuk, Hungary, Sauter, Maggioli, Nicebit, Hill, Noel Brown, Messina, and Thompson, your top 20. With then Brown, Turner, De Bortoli, Watt, Gedman, Woodward, Mihai, McCutcheon, and Jabudal in 29th, because someone is not in the lobby anymore and I forgot who he is. Chris, reach me. Follow me. I dare you. Yeah, there are going to be 3 teams by our side, because there are going to be 3 orange, black and white cars into the 24-hour grid. But anyway, apart from this, because it's a matter that comes as interesting in the next week, more or less, because it's on 22nd, so 9 days from now. We're waiting for the last seconds, a minute to go. Things to say about the track, because it is possibly changed. No, it is 8:46. So the time is just after the race that was being held earlier on. fact it's 8:46, so possibly it's going to be the end is going to be around 9:20 more or less. The temperature is still dropping. Now it's 20 degrees. And this gives the drivers, compared to the 25 into the qualifying, some trouble in terms of adjusting the car and the pressures. Obviously, no driver has to stay on the jack when the timer clicks 0, otherwise Rovstra and if I remember correctly, it was Maggioli, if I remember correctly. Possibly I not remember correctly. It was either Maggioli or Sberle. It was an Audi. I remember correctly, it was an Audi. You stay into the pit, so you can't really have anything. We'll go with a lap back into German's point of view after race number 1, and all the action that has been going into race number 1. You probably have already perfectly memorized the track. To go into turn 2, that is effectively what gives many drivers the head edge, which is the S that goes from turn 3 to turn 7. This S here is extremely difficult to nail perfectly. You can do it, and you just need a perfect balance on the car, even because the circuit, as mentioned earlier, is divided into 3 sectors, and all of the 3 sectors have different approaches in terms of setup. It's pretty much like Suzuka, where first sector is high downforce, the second sector is, I won't say, it's a bit difficult to say just a word. I think the thing that I want to say is just that Suzuka sector 2 really you really need a very stiff rear because of Degener 1 and 2, but also very soft dampers, while the first sector is the opposite. You need the stiff dampers but soft car altogether because of the S. Same as here. Basically the Cota S is a bootleg Suzuka S. Snetton is the best, so you clearly are blind. That's a fact. No one likes Snetterton. And then there is the straight, which is the beginning of second sector, which is what gives the drivers the chance to go for a low downforce setup or for a sheer speed kind of setup. It's not really advised, considering that 2/3 of the track are not really into speed, more like into turning. But you can go for a low downforce setup. You will struggle a lot in the first sector, but you can go for it for the third sector because it's a very technical one. You don't need a lot of. You know I can ban him. I am a mod. Don't give me this power. Don't give me advices. But anyway, third sector is a more technical one, which basically gives you the chance to go for a lower value of preload differential and some very stiff anti-roll bar. But obviously this means you can have difficulties in the first sector, blah 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 blah. Same thing as always. You can have the best setup in the world. You will never have all 3 sector purple because of the setup. Because you can't physically have all 3 sectors strength. That's just a fact. It's just impossible. It's like Suzuka. You can't go for a setup that has all 3 strengths and none of the weaknesses. It's just impossible. But this was a bit of a preview, again, for whoever wasn't here, into race number 1 of the American track, Circuit of the Americas, which this weekend races for the MotoGP round. There are a couple of cars there into the distance, a bit offset. We will stay here, a bit off traditions, instead of the Hellcam from the TV2, because the Hellcam is just awful. But we are now green light and away we go with the round number 5. It's contact between the Honda and the Ferrari. There is the Porsche there of Kevin making an astonishing start into the distance. There is an Audi going pretty much wide, losing several positions there. It's a bit of a calamity for the Audi driver with Kevin that made an astonishing start. I want to see it back when the replay happens. There is the Porsche there of Abu Said going a bit of a different approach to the S's. SSTV that he's currently having a stroke because I'm seeing just everything green and red. There is Abu Said still trying the position on Kevin. There is Major Noel Brown that made a contact. Yellow flag is being shown there. Is Smith trying the overtake on the Honda of Karasanovic that made an initial contact with the Ferrari. I wonder if someone has a drive-through for improper start procedure, because Kevin's start was extremely good. There is a Aston Martin going for the inside there. There is also a Honda of Karasanovic making the move on Borsari that has to stay behind the Honda because he, well, not for the choice, more like because he was obliged to do so. There is also a good pack here, side by side, into the straight, well, on the straight, between Burge and Smith, with Smith that is also not even behind a car, so lifting for him, but also in a car that is very good into the straight, but it's the Porsche going for the move! Contact between him and Aston! It was Tiabuk making door-to-door with, I think it was Smith. As a matter of fact, Smith is not really having the best start of the week for now. Panalo is now trying to get the lead of the whole race. The IM driver, after a bit of a okay race number 1, is making an astonishing race 2, already trying the lead. After German's start was possibly one of the worst, not even the worst, it was also drive-through for improper start positioning. So we will go into the pits and race is over for the Swedish driver. This gives Panalu the chance to win the race because he is extremely close to Malaskowski. And the pace earlier on was on Panaluk's side. Bimbu still in front. On the wing we go. LED. The blue LEDs on the front windshield of the Aston Martin driver. The Frenchman currently trying to get the attack done on the Ukrainian driver number 15. A bit of space being taken by the leader. Differently from Tiabuk that made an overtake on Souter after being basically demolished into turn 12 by Smith. So possibly some penalty coming across for the British driver that was nearly making contact with the Lexus just in front of him. And there is also Burjo. Wonder if I have some space. And the answer is just no, because you can see there is Kevin in the yellow flags there. Has there been a contact? There has been a contact there. It was Abu Said missing the braking point and colliding with the 62 Porsche that now faces, well, was facing the wrong way, and now he is in 7th place. And now there is also Tiabuk making the move on Sberla. Sberla on the inside, so not much space to work with for Nikolai Tiabuk in the 951. Still in 9th place. And I want to see if I can get the crash that happened earlier on, but I don't even remember who was involved. It was the 21, if I remember correctly. It was this one here that happened very much into earlier into the race. It was Noel Brown making contact. Oh, he just lost the car and was just in the middle of the race, of the racetrack, making contact with an Audi there, which was number 9. No, it wasn't number 9. I just didn't see who that was. There is also Kevin, effectively with a drive-through for what I thought it was indeed the case. Improper start positioning. It was honestly, it was clear as sky that he wasn't on a correct position. I also think it was more of a jump start more than anything, because he was just in front of the field the instant the race started. So drive through even for him two drivers are ready with drive-thru, and it's two of the main protagonists of race number 1. It is Kevin in the 62 and Zerman in the 60. Oh, contact between Sauter, and again it is the Aston making contact. Is Smith being involved in a second crash. So Smith race will probably end into the steward's room, one way or another. Now he's trying the overtake on the Lamborghini in front. So the Lexus with some front end damage, some rear end damage. The Lexus... Oh, contacts again! And there is the Lamborghini now off into the distance. I'm not sure if it was the Aston Martin's fault, more than the Lambo maybe going a bit wider. Speaking of Aston, it is now Messina that has to stay in front of the Lamborghini, and he does so. Same doesn't happen for Smith, that loses the position on Majoli, that goes wide. So possibly missed the braking point for the Italian driver, where the Lamborghini is still trying the best possible to make the position. Which possibly doesn't happen for now. Something that may happen is this one here. Panaloo is extremely close in front. There is Borsari with yellow flags into the gravel he has, but we'll see if the position happens here. Borsari possibly lost it into turn 19. He goes for the move. He goes for the lead of the race. He goes Panaloo into the inside. He goes the Frenchman into the Cranian, and the BMW number 15 has to stay on the outside. We'll go into the splitter. LEDs, those LEDs, I never saw them. It's the first time I saw the LEDs, the lights flare into the distance. They are so cool. And this is me distracting. Sorry, apologies for it. Panaloo still behind the leader. He tried the move. It didn't happen by a couple of meters. Meanwhile, Jobber again from 29th place, again with a best, trying to get the best recovery award, but there is some front end damage to his car. Sauter makes an overtake there, but I want to see if Jabudal maintains the position there on Thompson. The answer is no, because Thompson seems like he wants to make it inside. He doesn't. But it is Watt that lost 2 positions into a corner, and there is also the battle for the lead there, with Malaskowski trying to get into the inside. He stays into the lead of the race. Okay, I understood. I will stay here, because otherwise I lose something. So Malaskowski stays in front. You can see from the wing. The Aston is still very close on the diffuser of the car in front. Malaskowski defends the inside. The Aston on the outside. Possibly tries to get a better exit. Woodward overtakes Hungary into the distance as Smith does the same on the hill. Radio commentary for them, because I can't lose sight with this triple fight going on for first place. Currently Panaloo has the lead of the race in his sight, and also the fastest lap. Borsari is back in 7th. It doesn't count for position. Six times between Panaloo and Malaskowski. 06.8 was the best lap set by the Frenchman. 24.1 was the best lap set by Malaskowski, because he hasn't still set a valid lap. It's another triple way fight for 10th place. We can see here it's Hungary going on Woodward position. Contact between the two drivers, and there's also Lexus making overtake with Woodward. Oh, more contact. Smith was into the wall. So Smith's race is... I don't know how bad it can still go, because honestly everything that could have happened to him. Into the barrier he went after the contact with Woodward. He is now trying back the position on Sauter, and it doesn't happen for now. But I want to stay back here, because otherwise I miss it. I know about it. I'm sure it happened earlier, and it can't happen again. It would be quite unprofessional on my side. So we'll stay here. Interior side for us. You can see the BMW is getting close. It's getting closer, because Aston Martin misses the braking point. Now there is a second between him and Panaloo. with the Porsche. You can see the mirror is just behind the Frenchman. Frenchman that I'm quite sure he is the leader of the championship. And obviously this second gives a bit of a free hair for me to maybe look at someone else, but certainly does give some peacefulness to Malaskowski, now 1.5 in front. And is there really a car there in the background? Not I sure that is. I don't think it's Zerman. Zerman is speak of which, he is now trying to overtake on Brown into the horseshoe after the drive-through for improper. Oh, Malaskowski! Oh, there has been a contact a second. I missed it. How did it happen? Something went terribly wrong here. It was Malaskowski going wider, losing the rear, making contact with the Audi, and this gives, Abu said, the lead of the race. Okay, I understood. I will stay here for the rest of the race. At this point, it's impossible how timed it is. It is now Abu said in front of the two, with Panalo that stays in second after overtaking the former leader of the race. Honestly, it seems like they are making it on purpose. The second I don't look at them, they make something. This is just unfair. Because I never saw them. You can see there in the distance there are the lights on the sky. But apart from me getting distracted by lights, I'm like I'm off. It's now Paralo again chasing the front of the field. It will give him not only the win in class but also the win overall in the number 22 Aston Martin. And it would be the best possible finish for all the trouble he had for the whole race. Very close following. You can see in the distance there is the BMW going fading away more than anything. But in the front it is Abu said still in front. Yes, before you ask, I got distracted again by the lights. Don't ask why. But anyway, Panalo very wide into the entry. Maybe giving himself a bit of a better exit. And this is the case. Malaskowski is struggling a lot. Now losing a second and a half from Panalo. So now it's the battle for the lead of the race being held by two IM drivers. Panalo and Abu said. I don't know. Doesn't seem so. Not this time, not this one. I don't think I can even see it. Okay, anyway. Panalo is still behind Abu said, as I was saying. And now there is a straight line, which means the Porsche will have to think about something. Danny, we already answered you. The answer is still the same, it doesn't change. Panalo goes for the outside because the Italian stays on the inside trying to defend. He does so at the beginning. Cutback move for the Aston. Does it work? Because still on the outside. Which means the Porsche still inside. Cutback again by the Aston Martin driver. Then leads to another cutback move by the Aston Martin. It doesn't happen because now the Porsche stays on the inside, which means the BMW has now the chance to get back into the inside of Panalo, or at the very least gaining some space back. Because you can see from the wing, BMW was 1.5 seconds off the Frenchman. While the two were fighting, he managed to gain a whole second on the duo, fighting for position. And the dude that is fighting for position is the one behind with Borsari, or Borsari, I suspect it's Borsari, and Siavok fighting for position is the number 6, which is also the number 4 in class. There is also here a freeway battle for 11th place, with the McLaren on the inside of the Porsche. It is a Hill on the inside, Woodward on the outside. Woodward makes the position on a Hill. From the outside, the cuts. Oh, the McLaren is off. Oh, the McLaren is completely off. Oh, Hill is into the wall. Into the wall after going over the bumps. And we will briefly see what happens here before going back in front. Because there is also a fight for position in Pro IM class. Because there is Karasanovic at the lead of a train being composed by Karasanovic, Borsari and Siabuk, which is the final spot on the podium. And there is also the lead of the race that may change. You can see at the very end of the straight, the very straight that is now beginning for the other 3 drivers, now is ending for the other 3 drivers. In the other end of the straight, I was saying of the field, but it's just the front of the field. With Panalo, there is a switch of position there with Borsari making it into Karasanovic's position. Karasanovic on the inside, he stays. With Borsari on the outside. Borsari skips the inside. Possibly with Aston Martin behind, a chance. It does happen behind. The Aston of Siabuk stays behind the Karasanovic, but Borsari made the move. While Panalo in front. This is a back and forth off camera. I apologize if it is a bit too quick. It's just that I want to give. I want to be sure to see any overtake, as now it may happen between Panalo and Abu said. Oh, nice cutback by the Frenchman that understands the fact that Abu said was on the inside with a very slow exit, but he stays behind because Panalo has the outside while Abu said has the inside. The initial part of the S with Maskowski having a bit of a VIP pass for looking at the battle in the lead of the 2 drivers. Maskowski is kind of trying to get back into a position of relevance for the lead of the overall class. He's possibly also trying to go away as soon as possible from Robster, because slowly Robster is now trying to attack the leader of his own class after Maskowski went a bit wide on Exeter. It is now Robster 1.2 seconds away from Maskowski, and in terms of lap times it is definitely a very good pace by the Dutch driver, getting very close to the Ukrainian, while Sauter made the overtake on Woodward on just before turn 11, and now he is in front of the Porsche. You can see from the wing. Lexus is extremely good to be heard. There is also in the distance, you can see the McLaren there, trying to get the position done on the Lamborghini. It was Jabudal. Oh, Karasanovic is off! Into the wall he is! Massive one for the Slovenian driver. He lost the car on entry. He got back. Oh, he got spun! He got spun by Siabuk. I wasn't expecting it, I'll be honest. And can we see it back for the 66 and 951 from the Helicam? You can clearly see the fact that he went wide. He then tried to get on the left and went full into the wall, while Majoli and Woodward were involved in a massive crash between the 2 drivers. Oh, there is someone nearly colliding, not really sure who that was, nearly colliding with Okay, that's who it was. It was Aston Martin of Watt. In the very front, you can see it's 3 wide into turn 1, now 2 wide, and now single file with back into wide, with Thompson making it into turn 1 on Woodward, but not on the Aston Martin. I'm just waiting for what happens in front because they are on the straight. You can see from the splitter not much. You can see from the TV camera a bit more. And Woodward and Abu said this time has to stay behind, never mind, because he goes for the long braking, for the lunge into the inside. It doesn't happen because Abu said now he's trying the inside back again. Oh, it's a very close situation there, forces him outside, off track, flashing the light, and Paralo is still behind. Abu said dirt direction happening for the lead of the race. This is an extraordinary battle going on. We can see maybe from the helicam quickly how it happened. See, the Porsche goes on the inside, kinda forces the Aston Martin on the outside, and makes the position on Panaloo. Number 22, that is also trying the best possible. I want to wait to go on the replay between Woodward and Majoli, because it was quite a shunt, considering 2 cars were on the barrier in, I don't really sure which corner. Maybe it was turn 11. No, Jonathan Panaloo, the 22, still behind. Maybe I have the chance to go there. The 999 and 9. Maybe not. I want so much to see that replay because I'm curious, but I can't, considering that these two drivers may make an overtake at the very second I don't look at them. Oh, there is also the BMW. Balaskowski is back into the fight for position. The number 22 is possibly shouting, he is screaming, he is launching things out of the window, trying to get the position done as soon as possible, even because the BMW is now trying the position, considering that Aston Martin is not making it. So the BMW driver, Malaskowski, is possibly thinking, if he isn't making it, I will, because Robstra is behind and he may approach my position, but also it's the lead of the race. Which counts the most? Abu said doesn't go for the inside this time, he stays on the outside, changes plans for the Italian driver. Not really sure why at this point, because it was working earlier on. He goes back for the inside, and he goes back again for the inside. 2 drivers colliding, and the BMW now was possibly in the worst possible moment there. So there is a bit of incident between them because there are yellow flags around their position. Rabosser is still in front. Panalo still following. Malaskowski still in third. This fight is extraordinary. While I think I have the moment there to see what happened between the 2 drivers, you can see Woodward and... Oh! Okay, it was Woodward colliding with Majoli. Quite clearly. So back into the fight for the lead. In a single second. Okay, now Robson is extremely close. Extremely close to the 3 drivers in front of the pack. And the field and the race. And the lap count and the timing screen. And the race control. I'm running out of things to list. Of the kilometers being driven, I don't know. Still, the Aston is still behind. He's possibly really having a headache. Because it's clear. It's clear that Fanalo has more. But the Porsche is just stronger in these situations. The Porsche is just better. Oh, maybe some contact between Abusser and Panalo. Panalo this time went for the braking zone, trying to lunge into the inside, missing the braking point because the Aston just can't brake at the same moment as the Porsche. And now into the distance, or maybe into the wing, we can see from the Porsche's perspective, he goes back into the inside, so he changes plans again. The Aston stays on those. Oh, contact between the drivers! No loss of nothing. for Panalo that is possibly about to destroy the BMW if he even tries to get a position. Possibly Panalo is running out of... well, surely running out of time, because at this point it's just very difficult to maintain the focusness with the fact that the car in front of you is just slower, because it's clearly slower than Panalo. But the fact that this is the strength of the Abu Said's car, it's just impossible to overtake it. Unless you want to take risks. The main issue is that the opposite also applies. The Porsche is so good at making overtakes. It's a very fun car. The problem comes when you just want to be fast, because you can't. In this situation it works because Abu Said is in front, but clearly, trust me, it wouldn't be so fun if it was for a position way below the lead. Well, obviously, I would also say. Kevin again with yellow flags after the drive-thru. Speaking of drive-thru, Zerman is back in 11th place, so a huge recovery. And Thompson drive-thru for exceeding track limits, and he goes into the pits for effective mandatory penalty. Also Turner had a drive-thru, and there's also Woodward with another drive-thru. So the list is now composed of 5 drivers that had to go into the pits. It is still Panalo. At this point I want to see the struggle from the driver's perspective. This time it doesn't go for an overtake. Before it's extremely close now. Obviously also Malaskowski wants to get into second place to approach the leader. But the Aston is not only running out of time, but running out of tires, patience, focusedness. And the Porsche is a little bit better in these things if you are not under pressure. Bit of a slow run for the Aston driver with 2 laps to go. As the white flag will come down after a while, after 2 minutes 06. Again the Porsche inside. Bivu very much wide, maybe too much wide. Effectively braking on the curb is never a good idea. Into the splitter we go. This battle is simply astonishing. The BMW is close, the Porsche is closer, and I don't know how it will end. Honestly, whichever result is possible. We can also see Robstrom winning it for how much the things are evolving, and I'm quite sure that Panalo will do a all or nothing, because Berla is 21 seconds behind, and he goes a bit wide. He goes way wide. Malaskowski obviously can't go for a roll or nothing, so it's a bit of an advantage for the Frenchman. Further to be added, it is the Ukrainian driver losing a bit of gap from the duo that now is switching again position, and number 19 is back entered inside, still on the inside he goes. Switchback move for the 2 drivers. Helican for us, you can see again the Porsche on the inside. Maybe the trick is always the same. The BMW basically goes for a hold in the corner because he can't just go anywhere. The apex was full. The outer part of the apex was full, so he just had to stick and stay behind. And now it's the last few kilometers to the end with the light flares that are going into my face. Zerman and Karasanovic switching positions. So Zerman goes into the top 10 after the drive-thru for start positioning violations. White flag brought to you by Acelith Design. This battle is the one that we will stay on until the very second. Oh, there is a contact! Oh, there is Abused still on track. Contact between the two drivers. Abused maintains the track and the car. Not really sure how, but we literally went into the exhaust pipe of the Porsche driver, and now is the last chance for the Frenchman, with Kevin with another drive-through for exceeding track limits. It's a worst possible situation for the 62 Porsche, that now will fall several positions. Speaking of drive-through, Germany is now in 10th place, which is 6th in Pro IM. This Malaskowski is still thinking about it, but still a bit too far to try to make it. Panalu has to basically launch the car, hoping for the best. It's the only possible solution. Neil shot between the two drivers. Panalu goes very much wide into the distance. He doesn't break in time, and Malaskowski passed through. Maybe not. And the Frenchman is still on the inside. He maintains the second place. He goes third now, with the people that has to go behind. Panalu went for another nothing, trying to outbreak what was outbreakable. I don't even know if this verb exists in real life. I don't care about it. This is astonishing racing. With Abused in first place, I conclude the race. After 30 minutes of chasing and being the chaser, and being chased, and being chained. Or rather the opposite, because Panalu was chained to Abused the whole race, but it's the Italian that makes it into turn 20 as the leader of the race and the leader of the AM class, and wins the race at the Circuit of America, with Panalu that just has to go in second place, Malaskowski in third, the leader of the Pro AM class, Marobstra in fourth, Borsari in fifth, with Siabu concluding the race in sixth. And apologies for all the drivers if effectively we didn't show much. I didn't show much of the race. Burju was in 8th, Hungary in 9th, German in 10th, Karasanovic in 11th after the incident. A nice bit goes in 12th. We then Sauter in 13th place. Jabudal in 14th, Messina in 15th. Hill goes in 16th place. With Callum Watt, or Watt, better. Callum Watt into 17th place. And Gateman in 18th, with Kevin that is possibly trying to at least have a position more on his notebook. After two drivers, it happens with one of the two. And he goes so in 18th with Gateman in 19th. Tudor Mihai in 20th with Thompson in 21st, and then De Bortoli in 22nd with Alex Bike, Merkutkon in 23rd, Noel Brown in 24th with Woodward in 25th, Turner in 26th, Brown in 27th, Maggioli in 28th, and then last on track was Julian Smith in 29th place. This was possibly one of the most difficult battle to commentate on by my side for the whole time I've been making com. I'll be honest, it was extremely fun to be seen, and don't ask me how I kept up. I kept it. I just don't know. In fact, I didn't. I kind of missed a couple of things left and right. But your winner here is the 19 Porsche after defending and attacking, and I don't know everything in between. They are not IM. I agree. They are clearly not IM. Obviously, they were IM the beginning, but stint doesn't mean that the category being chosen or rather being added on is permanently the same. So possibly we will see them in Pro IM in the very next future. As Abu said, Paralog really made an astonishing fight. Unfortunately, Abu said was so good at defending that nothing could pass by. That's the reason why the IM setting. So Paralog stays in second, and Malatowski effectively being in a bit shadowed by the fact that the battle was opening, he won into Pro IM class, while Zerman concluded the race in 10th place, which is 6th in class. I want to see if there is someone in the interviews. No, there is no one. Okay. I'll wait a couple of minutes anyway. Like, make it 3 minutes. I'll just make the hour. Or rather, the 2 hour. Can't count anymore. Possibly I can't count anymore. Which is not really... okay. What am I searching for? So, extraordinary fight and race. I would say the wins in IM class. Maskowski wins in the void. In the Pro IM. So we have effectively Ilke Zerman into the interview call.
Yeah.
So how effectively, first question, what happened at the start?
On the second race.
Yep.
Yeah, I have no idea. So first of all, just backtrack a little bit. I had so much lag during the first race. I was stuttering like crazy. And then during the start, I had the 5 red lights. They didn't go out from me, but everybody just accelerated. So I went because everybody else went. And then I got a drive-through. So I have no idea.
Oh.
I have to look back at that. Yeah.
It may be not a rare case of the game not really not really helping with bugs and glitches sometime. Like there is a glitch where if you start a wet race and you go into the pit screen, you have dry tires, so you have to check it back. There is sometimes this one of the drive-through, and the next update is coming very closely, so possibly everything will go away.
Yeah, I don't know, but the second race was so fun. Like you're going from the back, trying to push as high as I can. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, effectively, that's the second question I wanted to ask. How was the race going from the back of the race all the way to the top 10?
Yeah, I really basically thought it was over when I did the pit stop or the penalty, and then I was like, yeah, well, I have pace, so I should be able to get somewhere anyway. And then P10, I did not expect, so it was nice to get it.
And well, you weren't the only one to have the drive-through, at the very least.
Yeah, I saw there were a couple of guys that also had it.
But yeah, next time is Netherton, and the next time is also the first day of the update.
Oh yeah, it is.
Previews on anything?
Well, I hope it's a good update.
Last time the Audi was nerfed, if I remember correctly.
Actually, I hope they make the Audi a bit better then. Balance it out.
I hope that they just they just nerf the Honda. That's my only concern. Just nerf it. It's not that good in real life. My opinion. But anyway, thanks to joining into the com booth, and I think maybe I can see it right now if you're still in the lead, because it's possible, because you got the win and 2 wins, 2 2 second places, and now it's a 6th place altogether. So still possible that you are still in the lead, and you are
I
just
hope so.
okay. Effectively, you are still in the lead by something like 15 points, and obviously penalties still have to be confirmed and everything. But for now, you are still pretty much in front of your direct opponent, which is Armin Karasanovic, because he was behind you finishing the race in 7th place.
Yeah,
So
he was.
effectively, you're still in the lead.
Yeah, but so the penalty. Am I gonna get a penalty in the standings?
For what?
No, you said that the penalty still has to go through.
No penalty for the drivers. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
No,
So I won't get anything, right?
for now, no.
Okay, good.
No, unless you didn't kill anyone on track, no.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I did.
Seems like innocent to me. But anyway, good one, and good reminder of the championship.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
So this was Ilka Zerman into the commentary booth, and next time maybe jump in if you want. Whoever wants into the race, you can jump in and say your thoughts about the race. But this is it for tonight. 2 hours of Woo! It was the last half hour was incredible. But anyway, thanks to all to have come by, and I will see you all tomorrow evening for the pulsing gear, and next week with the update in the wait, I have to race in 3 minutes. Bye. I have to go. But see you all tomorrow or next Tuesday if you're just interested about the rookies. See you all next time. Bye.